Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy back at it again. Listen, I'm having some tech difficulties right now. My other laptop decided to crap out on me right when I'm about to start. I had a banger as a show, but guess what? I got a backup laptop and we're ready to go. Audio is going to be off, but we're going to get this show popping regardless. Welcome to another edition of the Rico Report brought to you by the Buffalo Fanatics. Here's the deal, folks. It's the POP, right? Season 4. We are going to go through position groups that are problematic or part of the process. Now, a lot of times we tend to overvalue, undervalue certain players. It's the flavor of the month where we're not as high on another player as some would be. And it's always up for debate. Now, the one thing that is never up for debate is our starting quarterback, Josh Allen. Never up for debate. That boy is constantly the reason that we are relevant, the reason that the Buffalo Bills are where they are. So the way we're going to break this down is going through our position groups with the players, and we kind of dive through on whether they're fit for the Bills going forward or they're a problem. They got to go. Right. I have a feeling that there's going to be some controversial, some options that we're going to bring up. We're going to talk about some free agency, what free agent quarterbacks that could be part of this crew, and what could work as a backup option for Josh Allen. Now, before I get into that, there was some news coming out today. Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott had some conversations, and I paid more attention to Brandon Beane and what he had to say. And one thing's for sure. Brandon Beane does not mince his words. Brandon Beane says what he means and means what he says. And one thing's for certain is his love for the defensive line position. He's said it before in the past, and he said it today. It's important. When you have your quarterback, that's one thing. Pass rush is another. Defensive line is another, because you need guys that can get after the other quarterback. So you know that we're not going to stop trying to bolster this line. We're not going to stop trying to get after the opposing quarterback. And when you have a guy like Brandon Beane in charge, he's going to, for sure, make certain that we land on somebody that is going to, be the difference maker, because that's what we're missing. That is what we're missing. We're missing that impact player. We're missing that impact individual that's going to just take us over the edge. And sometimes that's all that matters. We probably have the perfect roster to go back to the playoffs, let alone divisional round, AFC championship. It's just that we might be missing a piece or two. That's it. We have our cornerstone quarterback in Josh Allen. We have our franchise receiver in Stephon Diggs. We have a serviceable O-line. And that's in this game, that's pretty much all you need. Are they serviceable enough to above average that they can hold it down, right? We have a serviceable run game. Could it be better? I agree that I think it could be better. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is that one or two pieces, impact pieces, missing on this team. And Brandon Beane is very well aware of what he needs to do. By the way, shout out to each and every one of you guys tuned in. Salute to you all that are listening on podcast form. Welcome. Now, other news, and before I get back into the Brandon Beane news, other news, if you guys were all about dome stadiums and all that stuff, well, you can put that to bed and put that to rest. It's looking like we will have a new stadium by 2026. By the end of the month, we should have way more details, but for now, what it's looking like is we're going to have, obviously, an outdoor stadium. There's going to be no dome, so that's a fact. Let's put that to bed. There's going to be 50,000 PSL and season tickets that are going to be going on, so I know it's going to be pricey. I'm looking forward to seeing how pricey these season tickets will be. Very interesting to see how that's going to be. There's going to be an overhang, all right? So it's not going to be an open dome like it was at the stadium that we're at right now. There's going to be a slight overhang, so there are going to be some seats that will be covered from the elements. I wonder how much those seats are going to go for. But no sun. So you're going to be sitting there. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, some of the sun kind of gets to you, kind of warms you up if we're having these afternoon games. these early afternoon games. But with the overhang, no sun hitting you, it's going to be chilly. But you don't have to brave the snow, the rain, and all that good stuff. So that's going to be interesting on how those seats will be sold going forward. But yes, it's going to be quite of an overhang. We're going to have a grass field, no turf. So it's going to be grass. So that'll be interesting. No turf monster is going to be getting us. So should be fun. Should be fun. Here's the big take I got from this stadium. $1.4 billion is going to cost. The public is actually going to be fronting $1 billion. $1 billion is going to be going into this stadium coming from the public. So that I found interesting. I mean, I always feel like the owners at least split the bill with us, man. Split the bill. You're the ones making, the billions, the millions and billions. You think that you'd front a little bit more into that, but it's not the case. It's going to be majority is the public, you and I. That's going to be funding this and putting it putting through for the stadium. So how do you guys feel about that? But overall, new stadium coming. More details at the end of the month is what they're saying right now. It's going to be grass stadium with a nice overhang. I think from what I understand, it's going to be looking like almost like the Seattle Seahawks, I believe, stadium, where there's a bit of an overhang. So that should be fun. That should be fun. Matthew Rokowski says, the people are part of the process. They are part of the process. I mean, that's the reason we all do this, right? We cheer for the team. We're always there for the team. So yeah, man, the people are definitely part of the process. That's what gets this thing moving. So it should be fun. Don Keith comes in and says, the owner's part. The owner part is coming from the PSLs. Not a single dollar coming from their pockets. Isn't that crazy? Not a single dollar. Like, yes, it's known that we need a new stadium, but come on, man, you got to front a little more than that. $1 billion coming from us, the public. Come on, that's crazy. But anyway, that's the news front on stadium. There's going to be more details coming. I like the fact that it's going to be a grass stadium. I kind of really like that. It's got almost like a nice feel. So it'll be interesting, man. It'll be interesting. So without further ado, let's get into it. It's unfortunate because I had clips and videos ready to play alongside as I go into our position talk, but you know what I'm saying, you gotta roll with it. You gotta roll with it. So here's the deal, folks. Let's dive right into the quarterback position. The quarterback position, it's clear. Josh Allen is our guy, right? And this league is a very big, what have you done for me lately, right? That's how it works. What have you done? In order for me to trust you, in order for me to trust you to lead my franchise, or for me to bring you on as a free agent, whatever the case is, there's something that's to stand out. All right. And in this case, with Josh Allen, he's definitely standing out. In the last 2 years that he's been our quarterback, he's just shy of 9,000 yards in 2 seasons. He's got 73 touchdown passes, 25 interceptions, and that's just him throwing the rock. Right? And then we got to break it down into 1,100 yards rushing. He's running the ball extremely well with 14 touchdowns. Like, the dude, 2 years running now, 2 years in a row, for those that are fantasy players, he's the #1 fantasy player in all of football. So the man is just a dual threat. That's the epitome of a dual threat quarterback, where he will kill you with his arm, and you saw it very much so this very recent playoff. Or if you want to back everybody off and you scatter that arm, guess what? He will run it down your throat. So he's just unstoppable. And what you want to do with such an unstoppable force is you don't want to limit that force. You want to continue to feed him. And by feed him, I say put weapons around him, right? He's an incredible player, but you've got to put the help around him so he can continue to be incredible. He's only going to tap in to way more, right? So allow Josh to cook, let him do what he does, and it's going to be amazing. Now, is Josh part of the process? Josh is not only part of the process, he is the process. Josh is the process, because this whole thing doesn't move without Josh Allen. And I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, which I know I'm not. But this team goes nowhere without Josh. Defense is great. We had the #1 defense in this game, or top 3 defense in this game. But at the end of the day, when we really needed it, it didn't come through. But you know who did come through? That was Josh Allen. This guy was nothing but sensational. Nothing other than sensational in the last game against the Chiefs. Now, we know he is the process. We know he is that guy. There's no question about it. He's an elite player. The real question is, who is going to back him up, right? Now, Mitch Trubisky, great backup to have. Very similar skill set. If Josh were to go down, you throw in Mitch Trubisky, and the offense doesn't change. He's mobile. He can get the ball downfield. He can do all those things that Josh Allen can do. Not to the level of Josh Allen, but he's mobile enough that he can be a threat. I mean, he was a starting quarterback for the damn Chicago Bears, and he did quite well, right? Here's the deal. He's going to try to find an opportunity to get himself a starting job somewhere. I personally can't see him coming back, not because he hates the team, but it's because he's looking for a starting opportunity, which there's a chance that he will probably get. It depends on where, or at least he'll have a chance to at least battle. He'll have a chance to at least compete for a starting spot somewhere. So to me, I think Mitch Trubisky is gone. He won't be part of this team, right? We traded Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm is gone. He's at the Giants, right? Guess what? Davis Webb, gone as well. You know what I'm saying? Brian Dable came in and was like, yo, I'll take you and I'll take you. So they're gone. Actually, Jake Fromm was gone before that. But nonetheless, that's what's happening right now. So right now, we are down to 1 quarterback on the team. So who do we see? Who do we like as the backup options for Josh Allen? Well, folks, I've got a couple scenarios that I want to play with you. All right. Number 1, Ryan Fitzpatrick. We know Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's been around the game. He's not looking to be the starting quarterback that's going to try to push Josh Allen. We know that's not going to happen, right? We know that's not going to happen. But a veteran guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick is coming in. He's familiar with the city, familiar with the people, you know what I'm saying? Familiar with the organization, right? As I mean, there's a lot of new faces, but he's familiar nonetheless. Where he goes, I mean, we know he's going to, if he's got the opportunity to jump on the field, he will keep us competitive. He will keep us competitive. You know he will. I mean, the guy goes to Tampa. He goes to, I mean, shit, he's played everywhere, for crying out loud. And he's always made noise wherever he's gone, right? Now, he had a stint with the Commanders. It's going to be weird for me to say that, but ended in injury. So it never worked out. So that is an option. That is definitely an option that I would consider. Is it my #1 option? No. But Ryan Fitzpatrick is something that I can totally see happen. I mean, for crying out loud, he was at the Bills playoff game and he's got his shirt off and he's with the fans. That would be an ideal scenario, right? You get Fitzy with Josh Allen. That combo, it would be a pretty dope combo, right? You know what I mean? You got the old man that's gonna be backing up. So Fitz would be a nice fit. Would that be part of a process? In my opinion, that would be part of the process. But he ain't on the team yet, so we're going to play that out. That's option #1. Option #2. This would be the ideal option, and that's Marcus Mariota. There's a chance that Marcus Mariota is going to try and get a starting gig somewhere. I don't know if it's out there for him. I think Mitch has a better chance of being started somewhere over Mariota, but I could be completely wrong. How great would Marcus Mariota be to back up Josh Allen? Now, is he looking for that? Probably not. I'm sure he's looking to be starter somewhere, but his chances are very slim. So what are we doing? How do we set this up? How do we get a guy like Marcus Mariota into this building? Well, here's what he brings to the table. You know he can sling it down the field, right? You know he's athletic as can be. And if Josh were to go down, you have a more than serviceable backup quarterback that can come in and handle business. So I have no bones about a Marcus Mariota coming in and backing up Josh Allen, right? The skill set doesn't drop off, right? You wouldn't bring in a guy like Mike freaking Glennon, right? To come in and back up Josh Allen, or so who knows? An immobile quarterback is what I'm trying to get to. You can't bring an immobile quarterback. We'll use Matt Barkley. Matt Barkley comes in. You know, it's a different ball game. It's completely different. And we know that we can attack this guy. This guy's not going to beat us downfield with his legs. So we can kind of change up the scheme. You bring in a guy like Marcus Mariota, you kind of got to keep things the same. You kind of got to keep things the same, because if you dare leave lanes open, Marcus Mariota will take full advantage of those lanes. So keep that in mind when looking at this backup quarterback. So Marcus Mariota, to me, would be an ideal setup. Now, another option that I personally think would be the best fit out of those three. I love the Ryan FitzPatrick, because it's just, you got continuity coming back, and Fitzy is well loved by the people. So it would work out very well, I think. And he's got a good enough skill set. Enough of a skill set for the team to trust him to be the backup. Who knows, right? Marcus Mariota, he's done the backup job before. We've seen what he can do when he's gotten on the field for the Raiders. He was very good. So he did what he was supposed to do when he got the football, right, in his hands. To me, that would work out. Be ideal. Keeping on the mobile type quarterback, another fan favorite, Tyrod Taylor. How nice would it be for Tyrod Taylor to return back to Buffalo? Not only that, you know he's mobile. You know he can sling the rock. There's not a problem. He's got one of the most prettiest, purest deep balls in the game. I don't care what anybody tells me. You watch Tyrod throw that football, it's a pretty ball. There's no question about it. Our problem with Tyrod was he was indecisive, right? He didn't want to pull the trigger. Now, he's been around the league. He's had his starting opportunities, right? And he's either lost the job, or he was a bridge to the young quarterback coming in. And unfortunately for him, he was always the bridge. So he got his opportunity to start, but he was always the bridge. Baker Mayfield, right? The bridge for Baker Mayfield. He gets his lung punctured accidentally, right? When he goes to the Chargers. In comes the young quarterback from the Chargers, right? In Herbert. Then he goes to freaking the Texans. And then Davis Mills takes over. I mean, it's just it's one of those things where injuries come in and circumstances. But for me, Tyrod Taylor would be an ideal, and I think would be a perfect fit for backup quarterback. I mean, shit, you're bringing back the quarterback that got us out of the drought. You're bringing back a quarterback that Coach McDermott trusted to be that bridge until we drafted, you know what I'm saying, Josh Allen, right? From 2015 to 2017. Not a bad little career with us, right? And a lot of people want to mention how he's injury prone. Let's cut it out with the injury prone business, right? He got injured twice with the Bills. One was a concussion in the playoff game, wild card game, if you guys remember that. And then Nate Peterman showed up, and the rest is history. You already know how that ended. And then I think he sprained his MCL. Those are the times he was injured in Buffalo. For the most part, we could count on Tyrod being in the lineup. So Tyrod, for me, is ranked number one for the backup. Then I'll take Fitzy, because I think Fitzy would just be great. And then Marcus Mariota. How are you guys feeling on that nucleus of backup quarters? Because we're going to need one. We're probably going to end up drafting one, right? Because listen, we just drafted Jake Fromm not too long ago, and he didn't work out, and they just shipped him off somewhere else. Davis Webb is gone. We got nothing, right? So I would not mind having T-Mobile Tyrod Taylor as the backup. Now, most people are like, he's injured. He's not starting. He's merely the backup. You know what I'm saying? Intelligent enough. He's the coldest dresser in the game. I mean, you guys already know how he throws it down. And he's a well-liked guy, right? And I think he'd be a very good compliment to a Josh Allen, right? I mean, shit, try to bring both in if you need to, but it's not gonna work, because guess what? Problem is this. The bank of bean is gonna have a lot of work to do. The one thing that we definitely need is a backup quarterback. And Tyrod is only going to cost you, what, $5 million? $5 a year? We can definitely work something out when we bring him on for a couple years, 2-3 years. I mean, work a deal that we bring Tyrod as the backup. Fitzy's not going to cost that much more either. right? You're probably going to be looking at that five mil mark around that end. Marcus Mariota may ask for more, but we never know. He's a little younger. But those Fitzy and Tyrod, guys coming back to Buffalo, I think would be an ideal fit for both those guys coming through. So how are you guys feeling about that? Are you a yay for Tyrod? Give me one of these if you for Tyrod. Are you a yay for Fitzy? If you're a yay for Fitzy, give me that. Give me, I mean, put the biceps up, and we can go from there. But at the end of the day, folks, we need a backup. We need someone that's going to back up Josh Allen. And if in fact something does happen to Josh Allen, we don't want it to. We need somebody that can come in, that can be mobile enough, that can still run the same offense, and hopefully we have a strong run game behind us that could actually propel us and get us going, and then we go from there. So to me, I'm getting a mix. I'm getting a mix. I see Fitzy. We got some people there from Fitzy. My man MOS is there. Yo, give me Fitzy. We got my man Adam Stark, says, yo, give me Fitzy. Yo, Fitzy's getting a lot of love, man. Fitzy's getting a lot of love. Namdi's sitting here. I know what you want to do. You're going for Tyrod. So give me the Tyrod gang. I like that, man. But either option is not a bad option. Either option is not a bad option. And none of those guys are going to break the bank. Rich the Kid, I see you, Rich the Kid. None of those guys are going to break the bank. Nobody's breaking the bank. So to me, it's ideal. It'll work out. And I think that those are two guys that we should consider now. Where Bean decides to go with that, one will never know. One will never know. But I look very much forward to how that's going to play out. But guys, I'm totally excited about it. I think this is going to be one of those interesting opportunities to see what Bean is thinking, where his money's at, how he's going to play it out. Like, there's a lot that plays into what we're going to do here. So I'm about to transition back to my laptop because it's actually loaded up right now. So if I can make a seamless transition, that would be smooth as ever. Let's see if I can work out. And just like that, I may have made it work. Let me see if I can remove this, and we back at it like this. We close this up here. And what a transition. I hope I worked out. Oh, and then he transitions to the other mic. If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up, and let's get this thing rocking. So, folks, I like that setup. I like the way that it works out. I mean, when you guys see Tyrod get onto the field, you see Fitzy get on the field, how could you not love it? To me, I'm all about it. I mean, if you've seen Fitzy play, Fitzy's one of those guys that if you let him get on the field, he will show you how it's done. Like he doesn't waver. He's a veteran guy. He's been around the league. He knows how the game is played. Like you can't hate on a guy like Fitzy coming to Buffalo. I'm all about it. I'll take it all day. And there's a quiet confidence with Fitzy. There's a quiet confidence, and he is gutsy. So whenever Josh is making his moves and whenever Josh is doing what he does, you know Fitzy's going to be right behind him and motivating him and get him going, right? I could only imagine what kind of conversations these two guys are having, right? And this is in picture this. This is just for fun. Picture this. I don't want to hear you without my mic. You guys are funny. Now picture this, right? You already know this team is a very young team, right? Everybody's doing these dances. You got these handshakes and stuff. Can you see Fitzy doing handshakes and getting all them things going? Yo, I would actually look forward to seeing that. I mean, music playing and Fitzy's dancing in the background with Josh Allen. Yo, how dope would that be? Give me Fitzy, Josh Allen. That would look good. But Tyrod, though, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the skill set and it comes to, you know what I mean, being able to maneuver and move around the league, man, I like Tyrod too. I like Tyrod. I think Tyrod is like a 1A to Fitzy 1B, but I love Fitzy, man. Who doesn't love FitzPatrick? So shout out to my man Fitzy. If we can get Fitzy part of this whole situation, man, that would be most lovely. Now, I can't sit here and not show love to Tyrod, right? And I got video clips of Tyrod too. So Tyrod will come in and handle himself quite well.
And he's been here in Buffalo. He knows the people. The people love him. I mean, he's the drought breaker, right? Isn't he the guy that we always say that he's the guy that came in and killed it for us and he broke the drought for us and all that stuff? Boy, he could still play. I don't want to hear anybody talk about he can't play and he's this and he's that and he's trash. The boy can still play. I'm not buying it. I'm not here for that Tyrod slander. You know what I'm saying? I got love for Fitzy. I got love for Tyrod, and I'll take both. And those are the things that he brings to the table, right? And now you put him under a new offensive coordinator. I would have loved to see Tyrod under, you know what I'm saying, the likes of Brian Dable, but we're going to have some new blood. You know what I'm saying? Ken Dorsey's going to be in the building. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'm not mad at Tyrod coming back to Buffalo to back up our guy in Josh Allen. So big shout out to Tyrod. Big shout out to Fitzy. Maybe we can try to find a way to get these guys on the roster. I'm with it. I'm completely with it. So listen, man, if Brandon Beane can somehow try to parlay his way, if the agents of these players can try to find the way to get these guys on the squad, yo, let's try to bring Tyrod or Fitzy to Buffalo. How dope would that be? That would be sick with me. By the way, shout out to my man Ryan Teal. What up, Ryan? Says, yo, what's up, fam? Been a while. I'd love to see that bearded veteran get a ring with the Bills and walk away. How dope would that be, though? Right? We bring in Fitzy as the backup quarterback, and we finally put it together, take it to Super Bowl, and Fitzy gets a ring with the Bills. Come on. How dope would that be, right, Teal? Appreciate that super chat, my G. But yeah, man, so that's the way I look at it. And you know what? I can't do it this service, and I'm obviously transitioning here, but Marcus Mariota wouldn't be a bad fit for the Bills either. Marcus Mariota would not be a bad fit for the Bills. Big body guy, athletic, can still play in this league. He's been in that backup role. Whether he wants to be a backup again, that's to be seen. But the man can still play. The boy can still play. We have the weapons on this team for him to be able to flourish on this team as well. Look, we have the ability. You see this? You don't tell me that Dorsey won't make a play or have a setup where Mariota's on the field at the same time as Josh Allen, and we can't make that happen. Fam, it's gonna be something, man. It's gonna be something to see how we play out this offseason. But those are my top three guys. And of those three guys, I mean, take your pick. I think they'd be perfect for this roster. I think they'd be perfect for backing up Josh Allen. And how could you go wrong with that? How could you go wrong? I mean, it's not like we're bringing some other guy like Nate Peterman, which I would definitely take Nate Peterman. And don't sleep on Nate Peterman being the backup. You know McDermott loved Nate Peterman. There was a connection with those two, right? They connected off the field with their values that they have, and they both share the same values as Christian men. So not that it should make the difference to bring a guy on and pay him that type of money to back up Josh Allen, but it doesn't fit the narrative of having an athletic guy in Tyrod or Mariota and having, I mean, a guy that's had success in this league in Ryan FitzPatrick, right? Those three guys are just a better fit than, say, a Nate Peterman. And now that's just me being a selfish individual asking for Nate Peterman. We know it's not going to happen. We know that's not going to be the case. So that is the quarterback room. So how do you guys feel about that quarterback room? Are we liking the ranking, right? Tyrod number one. For me, that's Tyrod. Tyrod number one. Fitzy number two. Mariota number three. Somebody said, yo, Rico, stop with the Nate Peterman mess. I can't. Nate Peterman's my guy. Nate Peterman. That's my guy, Nate P, man. Nate P. But that's the way I look at it. That's the quarterback room, folks. Obviously, Josh Allen is the process, but right now, we don't have anybody else on this roster to be quarterback. So we must bring somebody. You know we're going to draft someone. It's likely that we will draft someone. Unlikely that we bring in two free agent quarterbacks to sign. We only had two active. So it's just going to be one guy they're going to bring in. So we got to bring in the guy that's going to help us and help Josh Allen along the way. That's the way I look at it, folks. So to me, process Josh Allen. We don't have a problem. We won't have a problem. And I think the guys that we bring in will be processed. Now, here's where it's going to get interesting. The running back room, right? You already know how I feel about the running back room. I feel that the running back is still a very vital and important piece to this team, an important roster spot to this team. Some people don't value the run game. as much as others, right? I'm one that values the run game very much. That's what sets up the pass, right? What I love about Josh Allen is Josh Allen's a freaking one-band crew. I mean, his running will set up the pass. It's crazy. It's just what it is. The guy's nice like that, right? But we have to make some decisions now. Free agency's out there, and there are some free agent guys. But let's talk about who's on our roster right now, right? Let's start with Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary came on heavy at the end of the season, looking solid as ever. You couldn't have asked for more from Devin Singletary, especially late into the season, right? And one thing that stands out to me with Devin Singletary is how he was underutilized to begin the year, and then a light bulb must have turned on where they're like, hey, how about we just make him our main back and let him do what he does? And surely the last 4 to 5 games, he looked like that dude. He looked like the RB1 for the Buffalo Bills, and that he did. Why did we wait so damn long to make this man a feature back on this team? So without even questioning what Devin Singletary can do, he is part of this process. He's part of the process. Now, I will bring up some scenarios later on as we go into the segment to really dive into this run game and how maybe in 2022 it could change, because Brian Dable and Joe Shane over there at the Giants might be knocking on the door of Brandon Beane and saying, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? I like Devin Singletary. Could they be asking for Mr. Devin Singletary to come on over? This is where we're going to get into some interesting chatter. But before I get into that, let's keep going, right? Devin Singletary, to me, process all day. He earned his way near the end of the season, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be coming back and earning his way in 2022. Now, the one back that I really had big aspirations for was Zack Moss. Now, Zack Moss, before I even play this clip, Zack Moss, he knows. Okay, let me just keep it all the way real. Zack Moss knows that this year was, and I mean, if I'll try to get him on this year to kind of chat it up, because I had him on last year and it went really well. So I'm gonna try to get him back on this year. But Zack Moss knows damn well he didn't have a good year. It was not a great year. It was not a great year. It was a mix of injury, a mix of sitting, being inactive, a series of missed opportunities on the field where he's sitting there just not producing the way we need him to the point where they just made this flat out decision to say, you are going to be RB2 or inactive, period. Right. And he knows that. And when, as a player, it's discouraging, because you put in all the work in the offseason, and then to find out that you're getting benched because you're just not playing to the level that we think that you should be playing, right? And that's the issue with my guy, Zack Moss. But thing is, I still believe in Zack Moss. And the big difference in Zack Moss' belief is the fact that we've now changed somewhat philosophy in terms of how we're going to deal with the O-line. Aaron Kromer was once an offensive O-line coach with the Bills. And when he was here with the Bills, now we did have a very good running back in LaShawn McCoy, but this team was the #1 rushing team in the game, right? And a top rushing team in the game both years while Aaron Kromer was running the O-line. That makes a difference. So Zack Moss could benefit from new O-line coach Aaron Kromer. I got to take a super chat from my guy Ryan Teal. Says, hey, what about Sam Darnold as QB2? Listen, man, Sam Darnold is the best friend, or they're very close in friendship with Josh Allen. Could he come and back up Josh Allen? Who knows? But here's the thing. The Panthers picked up his 5th-year option. Why would you do that, Matt Rule? Matt Rule went and picked up Sam Darnold's 5th-year option, so they have at least Sam Darnold for another year. Whether they decide to cut him or cut bait, who knows what they're going to do with him. But Sam Darnold, slim chances that he becomes the backup quarterback in Buffalo. But I'm sure Josh would love it. Sam probably would not, especially when they came out the same year. and one got drafted higher than the other. But that's another ball game, another conversation for another ball game. But back to the running back game, Zack Moss could benefit from new O-line coach, new philosophy, Aaron Kromer. What are your thoughts on Zack Moss? Is he part of the process, or is he a problem? He's a problem. He doesn't make the reads he's supposed to make. He's not playing at the level we need him to make. I can't see Zack Moss making it on this roster, especially because we're going to probably draft a running back. We're probably going to bring on a running back from free agency. So is Zack Moss's roster spot in jeopardy? What are your thoughts in the chat? How do you guys feel about Zack Moss? I still believe in Zack Moss. I still think he's still got some good great thread left, right? But I don't know, man. There were some moments in 21 season that I was like, fam, why? How are you making that cut? How are you not, you know what I'm saying, running this guy over when you say you make people make decisions? How are you, like, I mean, I had more questions for Zack Moss than I had, like, I believe in him and I'm confident in him. That's my problem. When you have more questions with someone, it tends to kind of make you say, you know what, let me think twice about my guy Zack Moss. But some people feel good about it. Some people do. My man Kevin Gerard, what up, Kev? Says, how do I get a super chat? Do I get a discount because I like to buy drinks at the club? You're such a fool. I love my guy Kevin. What's up, Kev? But yeah, real talk, everybody. Zack Moss, he's a tricky one. He's a tricky one. I'm not sure how I feel about Zack Moss. Is he part of the process? Are we buying it? You know what I'm saying? Is he a problem? Is he gone? Do we value him enough? To me, his contract tells me, yo, he's cheap enough. If we can get him popping, I think he'd be a good 1-2 punch with our guy Devin Singletary. We tried it last year, it didn't quite work. We thought we had something. No bueno, right? This year he comes in, no bueno, right? So year 3, what are we doing? My man MOS says, sell. He ain't buying nothing. I don't want nothing to do with Zack Moss. Get him out of here. Well, wonderful that you say that, because scenario time, right? You have free agent running backs that are out there. I have my free agent running backs that I like. And listen, we don't have the money. We don't have the funds unless we start cutting guys left, right, center. So here's something that I'm considering, right? I like this back. I love this style of running back. He's down my list, but I'm not sleeping on this individual, right? This guy right here, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of his running style. I'm a fan of how he can get downfield. He's got the speed. Raheem Mostert. Most people are going to see him and be like, man, get out of here with that Raheem Mostert business. But if you guys pay attention to the way this man plays the game and the way he runs the rock, he can be a big problem. Problem is, unfortunately, he suffered an injury, right? And that set him back. And now most people are going to be sitting here sleeping on Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert, if you get him in the right system, this guy can be an issue. I'm telling you, y'all keep sleeping on dudes like this, but this boy can play. And if we can bring him on to mix it in with Devin Singletary, right? Him and Zack Moss can battle it out and see who's going to be RB2. This could be a sneaky good signing, and it would not cost you a thing because he's coming off an injury. We don't know what's going on with him. So you're not going to pay him big money, right? So I would take Raheem Mostert over Matt Breida. Matt Breida was supposed to be the Raheem Mostert that we needed. But Matt Breida is a smaller back. Speed, yes, but he's not that guy, right? Raheem will lower the boom on you. He will run past you. He can catch out of the backfield. That would be an ideal, cheap, inexpensive addition to the team. He is coming off an injury, though. That is my big question mark. But I'm not mad at that scenario at all. I'm a big fan of that, right? Now, my big takeaway that I'd love to bring on as free agent, I'm part of this team, is Marlon Mack. Now, that is one that I'm highly paying attention to. Marlon Mack fell out of favor with the Colts, couple injuries here and there, but he fell out of favor, right? Jonathan Taylor just took over. Naheem is RB2. You know what I'm saying? So, like, at this point, it's got my man Marlon Mack looking on the outside. So you bring in a Marlon Mack to the Bills to couple down with Devin Singletary, I think it's ideal. Marlon can catch out of the backfield, can pass protect. You know what I'm saying? Can run in between and outside the tackles. That would be a nice fit for the Bills. John Surian says, yo, I like Tony Pollard a little more. Listen, I love Tony Pollard. You know that. Problem is, Tony Pollard is not going anywhere. They're even talking about potential release of Zeke, at least a restructure on Zeke over there. So, listen, Ezekiel Elliott isn't safe in Dallas. He's not safe in Dallas. I mean, I'm sure they're going to keep him around because that dead money is too much. They're definitely going to have to restructure and do some type of work with that man over there. But Tony Pollard, I guarantee you, is going absolutely nowhere. The Dallas Cowboys love him just as much as I love him as well. So that's not going to happen. But that is one way to look at free agency and bringing in an inexpensive Raheem Mostert, a not too expensive Marlon Mack. I think that would be a nice little fit with the Bills, especially with how we were going to be retooling the offensive line. We're going to be we got a new offensive coach, and there's going to be an emphasis on running the freaking rock. So it's going to be interesting how that plays out. I know a lot of people are loving on Patterson, but I'm in the same boat as some folks and say I'll pass on Patterson because Patterson just got himself a bag. Atlanta's probably not going to let him go in the first place. Atlanta's going to probably try to keep his ass because he was the most relevant person on that damn team. You know what I'm saying? So look for Patterson to not leave the freaking Atlanta Falcons. He's staying right put in Atlanta. I can't see him leaving. And if he does leave, you think he's going to come for minimum deal? No way. He's going to be looking for big money. Big money is going to be had by Patterson. Now, here's an off-the-cuff scenario. The Giants have moves to make. No different than when the Bills had moves to make when Brandon Beane got here, right? He had to move some prominent pieces, Sammy Watkins being one of them, Ronald Darby being another, right? There were moves my man had to make in order to get under the cap, for us to be in the green. And he's done a fantastic job. But guess what? Joe Shane was there for the ride. He was there and he went along with the ride. He saw the nuances, the intricacies of what to do to get yourself back into, you know what I'm saying, into contention, right? Because the Bills are in contention for every year now because of what Brandon Beane did. So guess what? The Giants are going to be having to do the same thing. They've got to make some moves. So enter the room, Brandon Beane. Enter the room, Joe Shane. Here's the conversation. I got moves to make. I'm probably going to end up cutting. You know what I'm saying? I got to cut, you know what I'm saying, my running back. So is there a way that we can find a way to make a deal for me to send you Mr. Barkley, Saquon Barkley to the Bills? Saquon to the Bills, maybe, you know what I'm saying, Dable is enamored with and he loves what Zack Moss brings to the table. Who knows? Or he loves Devin Singletary. And here's where the Devin Singletary talk comes in. Now, let me be clear with people. People want to talk about it. Well, he didn't have a great year last year in terms of Saquon Barkley. He's injury prone, all that good stuff. Listen, fam, the guy just came off a torn ACL. There's only one player that I've seen come off a torn ACL and have a monster year at the running back position, and that was Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson is a cyborg. You don't see type things like that happen often. So it's going to take a player time to get back to normal. No different from Trey White. Trey White's not going to come back and be that dude. It's going to take time for him to get back to, you know what I'm saying, right back to where he used to be, especially at the cornerback position. That's going to be tough, extremely tough. I mean, you saw OBJ. OBJ, it took some time for him to really become that dude. And then he tears it up again. The point I'm trying to make is this. Don't sleep on a very, very great talent in Saquon Barkley. Saquon is a talent, and you get him healthy. You put him on the Bills team with a very good medical staff. You know what I'm saying? And with a quarterback like Josh Allen, and you have to pay attention to Saquon Barkley, and we can work something out financially. Trust and believe Brandon Beane is not going to pass on that if we can try to make something happen. Are we going to draft a running back? Yes, I truly believe we will. And if we do draft a running back, there may not be a need for Saquon. But I'm not sleeping on the Saquon edition, because it could be that they want to swap. I mean, a cheaper deal, who knows? But I don't know how these contracts completely work, but I know that things can be reworked. Negotiations can happen, and things can be fit under the cap with some movements that we'll make. So I ain't sleeping on Saquon, and neither should you guys, because if we get a guy like Saquon on this team, a healthy Saquon behind a monster in Spencer Brown, behind Deion Dawkins, you know what I'm saying, behind a Ryan Bates that played extremely well, fam, and you have a quarterback that's not named Daniel Jones, fam, we got this. Stephon Diggs, you know what I'm saying, Dawson Knox. Yo, you better, I'm telling you folks, don't sleep on that. Just don't sleep on that. That's all I'm going to mention to you fine folks here, because that's something that we'd want to at least consider. Shout out to my man Carl Tolman. What's up, Carl? Says, yo, what do you think of Brandon Beane getting Leonard Fournette or James Conner in free agency? Either would probably cost about $6 million. See, here's the thing. It'll cost $6 million. Leonard Fournette is a hell of a back. There's no question about that. So is Conner. I think Conner goes back to Arizona. That's my guess, because he played extremely well for these guys. I think he had like over 10 touchdowns this year, something crazy. So there's a chance that he goes back to Arizona. I don't think Arizona lets him go. I mean, they do like Chase Edmonds. Edmonds is nice, but if Conner does get on the market, he's probably going to be one of the top guys that get top money. So could that be right for us? Who knows? I like Conner's style. His style of play is really nice. But I'm not sure how that plays out. Leonard Fournette would be really nice. I would not mind Leonard Fournette in the backfield with Josh Allen. That gives us our bruiser back. That gives us our pass protector. That gives us a back that can catch out of the backfield. And he's an overall 3-down back. So that would be ideal. So what do you do with Zach? You got to get rid of Zack Moss at that point. You bring in a Leonard Fournette, and you have Devin Singletary, and you're most likely going to draft a running back. There's no way that you're keeping Zack Moss. This is not this. I just can't see it happening. But I like both those guys. But I think they might cost a little more than $6 million, or they're going to at least try to get more than $6 million. But $6 million is about a right price for these guys. That's why it's crazy when you hear guys like, I don't know, freaking McCaffrey was getting like 15. I'm not mad at it, but like when you see a guy like $6 million going for Leonard Fournette, and then you got the disparity between for Leonard Fournette and McCaffrey. It's craziness, but you deserve it. Like Zeke is big. He was making big money at the time that he got this deal. He was one of the best backs in the league. He deserved it, and then he kind of fell off. You know what I'm saying? But it's about getting the bag in this game, man. You got to get the bag. Do what you can. Use your leverage to get as much as you can in this game, because it can end quickly. It can end quickly. Free J says, yo, don't need a free agent because Barkley getting traded from the Giants. GM already looking for offers to watch. I'm telling you, man, I've been paying attention. They got to make moves. They have to make moves. They got to start cutting. And the beautiful thing about it is, before he cuts, Joe Shane, before he makes a cut, he's going to be looking for deals. Where can I ship this off? What can I do? So maybe a draft pick will do the trick. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we don't have to give anybody up. We'll give him a draft pick and Zack Moss. Who knows? But there's a way that we can make it work. And if we can, and Joe Shane comes knocking on the door, and you know they're going to be talking about it because there's a connection there, look for some Giants players to come over to the Bills. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to keep it at that. Right? Now, the rest of the way on this roster, Reggie Gilliam, process. Love Reggie Gilliam. Love everything about Reggie Gilliam. The guy just does everything the way he's supposed to. Any opportunity that he gets, he makes the most of it. If it's him plowing through a linebacker to make a hole for a running back, you got it. If it's him splitting out as a tight end or a flank and catching the ball in the backfield, he's got it. If it's him, you know what I'm saying, leading the way down the field, he's got it. If it's him making a tackle on special teams, he's got it. The dude is legit. He's legit. And I love everything about him. I remember having him on the show, and DeMarco was you know what I mean, considering coming back or not coming back. And I said to my man, I say, hey, I can't wait until you make this team, and then you're going to be our guy being the fullback. He's like, oh, don't say it. I'm like, trust me and believe it. You're going to make my man get cut. I'm telling you, you're going to get freaking DeMarco cut, and you're going to be our guy. And sure enough, that damn same offseason, that's exactly what happened. So shout out to Reggie Gilliam. Gilliam is that dude. He is definitely part of the process. Matt Breida, gone. Problem. You out of here. You know what I'm saying? There was a game that you gave us a spark, and we thought we had something in you, and then you reverted back to Matt Breida. So you out of here, kid. It's not happening. You're gone, right? So Zack Moss, I'm going to put him as a process guy right now, as of right now, and I'm only doing it because we have new O-line coach, new offensive coordinator. Maybe they'll find a way to see something different than what Brian Daboll did. But we saw what we saw on the field. We saw you, fam. We saw what you had, right? Devin Singletary, process. He's processed all the way. That he's that dude, right? Reggie Gilliam, process. Taiwan Jones, whether he comes back or not. We're going to find out what they do with Taiwan Jones. I mean, he's been a special teamer guy. They've let him walk before. He killed us when he was with the Texans with that one play that freaking broke our back. But he made his way back to Buffalo, and he's always been a leader on special teams. Do they bring him back? Do they value him enough? For now, I'm going to say he is part of the process. I'm going to say he's part of the process. That's I think someone that they value on this team, and he's a veteran guy, right? And he's been in the league a while, so they might keep him on the squad for special teams purposes. Because I mean, man's never touched the field when running the football, so he's strictly there for special teams. And then we shall go from there, because we've groomed some special teams guys, right? Saron Neal coming back as a special teamer. Now Taiwan Jones may come back. You never know at the number that they're going to bring him back at. But it should be fun to see how this plays out. But to me, that's the way I look at this this running attack that we have. Could there be some improvements? Absolutely. There's no question about it. I need there to be. It's necessary for us to really focus on running this football. It's just necessary. And I feel like, I know we were up there. Like, I mean, we were like top 15, I think we were like 11th in rushing the game and rushing the football this year. And it didn't seem like it. But when you have your quarterback that rushed for 763 yards, that helps in your total. That definitely helps in your total, right? To the point where Josh simply took over. I see he's like, I don't give a damn. If I'm going to get hurt, I'm going to get hurt. But I'm gonna do it imposing my will on these small corners and safeties and defenders, and I'll make my way through. That's what it's gonna do. But Josh Allen can't do that. The year before that, he only had 421 yards, right? Trying to preserve himself, right? So he did more rushing the football than he did last year. But I think that's gonna change a little bit, because we now have to protect this man. Like, we know how great he can be. We just can't sit here and ignore the fact that this guy is nice like that. So recapping what we talked about today in terms of process and who's part of it when it comes to the quarterback and the running back room, right? Quarterback, we only have one on the squad, and he is the process. That's Josh Allen, right? And we've got some options at the backup position. Ryan Fitzpatrick being one, Marcus Mariota being another, and Tyrod Taylor being the third. I like those three options. That's just my opinion. I like those three options as the backup role. What are the chances that we get two of the three? Very high, in my opinion, right? They're both familiar with Buffalo, and if the opening's there, agents are talking, they need a spot for the quarterback. It's just about a matter of fit. Could it be fit C that comes over the Bills? We'll see, and we'll find out what's really good. We'll see how that plays out. But other than that, man, that's what we're looking at. I mean, there's not a whole lot that in that run game that has me bugging. Taiwan Jones is a special teams guy, so I'm not worried about that, whether we bring him back or not. Zack Moss has a lot to prove this year. He's got a lot to prove. If anybody's on the hot seat, it's Zack Moss. Because, fam, we draft you in the third. First year, you look promising. Okay, we got some. Second year, you just poo-pooed the bed. You know what I'm saying? Maybe confidence went down once they made you inactive. But you're a professional. I know you're gonna post-patch through it, and you'll be all right, man. I think you'll make it work. But Zack Moss, a lot of people are gonna be watching what Zack Moss does. Devin Singletary, process all day. That's that dude. Last but not least, there's one name that I didn't mention yet, and we're gonna find out what this man is finally made of. Either you are going to make the roster or you're not. And that's Christian Wade. Christian Wade, man. This is going to be year 3. This is going to be year 3. What are we doing with Christian Wade? Are we actually going to let this man actually, you know what I mean, try to make this roster? Can he? Has he learned enough in the 3 years? I mean, shit. Rugby, I know rugby is very different from football, but goddamn, run the football, have the ball in your hand, and you tell me and make your reads. Now, I get it. You got to learn the verbiage. You got to learn pass blocking ability, all that good stuff. And that's all great and dandy. But he is a talent. He is explosive. We've seen it before. So what are we doing with Christian Wade? Are we actually going to finally give this man his due? Are we going to get him and give him the opportunity to make this squad, right? And that's on him. That's all on him. Because I can't see them saying, we're going to put him right back on that internationals list. I need to see something. We need to see something. And I think he is chomping at the bit for him to get out there and prove himself. So a very deep sleeper, right? A very deep sleeper is Christian Wade. So, I mean, you can kind of sleep on him a little bit, but keep an eye open. Keep an eye open for Christian Wade. We'll see how that plays out. We may not even go for the Saquon Barkleys. We may not even bring in draft pick. I mean, I think we will draft somebody, but we will allow Christian Wade to at least compete. At least this is year 3. This is the time that he's ready to go. So let's see. We'll see how that plays out, man. John says, hold on a second. What's up? John says Antonio Williams went to the Giants. Yes, he did. And that's something I never understood about the Bills. What is it about Antonio Williams that you just did not like? I'm so curious about that. What is it? You get him into the game late, couple seasons ago, get him into the game late, and he does what he's supposed to do with that football. He shines a light on himself. We're like, holy crap. Okay, maybe we got something in Antonio Williams. Furthermore, on our Instagram page, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to show Antonio Williams some love, right? Yo, why are we not putting Antonio Williams in the game? This is when the running game was struggling heavily. Even some of the players in the squad were double tapping that and saying, y'all see what we see. He deserves this opportunity, but he never did. What is it that this team did not want or like about Antonio Williams? I'm super curious. And now the Giants have him, and watch him be something pretty good with the Giants. It wouldn't surprise me, especially if they move on from Saquon Barkley. I just don't understand it. What is it that they didn't like about him? Now, I get it. Well, you're not there at practice. They see everything at practice. I get that part. And that's something that we can't speak on. He's in the locker room. He's practicing. They see what they need to see. But I also know there's a pecking order, right? I drafted that guy in the 3rd round. I drafted that guy in the 3rd round. I gotta get my return on investment. I gotta see what these guys are made of. You're just an undrafted free agent that I've been cutting and re-signing and cutting and re-signing and cutting and re-signing. I think that's how many times they did that. So to them, expendable. I can move on from you anytime, but I need to see what I got in these guys. That's the politics in that. That's the politics in that, right? If I'm better than you, and I know I'm better than you, and you guys know that I'm better than them, but the only reason that I can't get in the game is because of where they got drafted. That's usually what keeps some of these guys in the league. It's where they got drafted. There's some guys that are straight bums, like Mike Glennon. Why is Mike Glennon still in this league? I'll never understand it. It's probably based on where he got drafted, because if he was a 7th round draft pick, and we would not be hearing about Mike Glennon. But where you get drafted allows you the opportunity to stay in this league a lot longer. And that's what's happening with who we have on this team right now, right? 3rd round draft picks. We're going to give them more time to find out what we got. Undrafted guy, they come and go. That's the way I'm assuming that the team is looking at these guys. It sucks, but that's just the way it is. So when it comes to the run game, we'll see how it plays out with my man Christian Wade. Is he gonna get his opportunity? We'll soon find out. It's gonna be a very interesting offseason this year. Well, definitely the draft is coming down the road. We got free agency around the corner, so we'll see how that plays out. But two guys, the one guy that I'm looking at right now, Raheem Mostert, I really like. He'd be really on the cheap side coming off of injury. We'll see how that plays out. And Marlon Mack. I really like Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack would be a nice fit with these Bills, man. You don't sleep on Marlon Mack. That boy can play. So, folks, that's it for me. I wanted to come on here and talk about the process. Who is part of the process when it comes to the running back and the quarterback room? A little slim picking, but guess what? Next up, tight ends, receivers. Who is part of the process? We about to get into it. Is Cole Beasley going to be part of the process, or is he a problem? That $6.1 million is looking mighty like I'm ready to cut bait and save that money. Or are we extending him and saying, you know what, let me extend your ass and then let's try to play with the cap and manipulate a little bit and see what we can do. We'll see. But do yourselves a favor, man. Go check out Raheem Mostert's film. Look at the way he runs that football. I'm telling you, folks, you fit that with Buffalo, I could be problems, right? Go look at Marlon Mack. Go look at Marlon Mack film and see how he plays. And you guys come back to me. Let me know how you feel about that, right? But that's it for me, folks. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for dealing with me with dealing with these freaking tech issues, man. Like, I don't know why this laptop was messing around with me. It annoys the heck out of me when it happens, but I was able to get what I needed to get out there for you guys, right? At the end of the day. So thanks for dealing with my audio. My audio was not the greatest, but somebody was like, yo, never, ever do that without a mic. And folks, that will not happen. So folks, that's it for me. I need y'all to understand something. We got some good and big things coming your way with Buffalo Fanatics. Shout out to my guy, Jeff King. I see you, Jeff. Buffalo Fanatics is doing big things. It's coming your way, and we're super excited. My man Z-Bot and I are up to something. So be on the lookout for that, folks. It's going to be fun. Jeff King comes in and says, hey, I loved Antonio Williams. And as far as Wade goes, he's still on the international ticket. Let the guy play in 6-8 series, even preseason game, and see what you got, because that guy is hungry. He is, right? And he needs, and for himself, he needs to take that step forward. There's something that he's got to do that's got to set himself above everybody else. You got to do it, Christian. This is the year you have to do it. Like, stop. There's no being timid. You've had 2 years now, 2.5 years now to really try to get the game in as quick as possible. Now is the time. Get in or get out. You know what I'm saying? Put up or shut up, or shit or get off the pot. Whichever one y'all want to use. This is Christian Wade's time to do those things. Because if he doesn't, then, you know what I mean? Back to playing 5 series or 7 series football, rugby. You know what I'm saying? Going back to the Stingers. I don't want you to go back to the Stingers, damn it. I want you to be with the Bills. So let's see how it plays out. Let's see how that plays out. But yeah, man, you guys be good. You guys be great. You know what I'm saying? And don't forget, man, treat people great out there, man, because you never know what differences you make for someone. And I mean that. Real talk. I really do mean that. So that's it for me, folks. You guys have yourself a great fan afternoon or evening or night, shall I say, wherever you guys are tuning in from. Shout out to each and every one of you guys. Like I said, tune in. There's things coming your way very shortly, about a week or so. You know what I'm saying? Keep your eyes open for the BF, because we always up to something. You know what I'm saying? And look out, we're up to something. Me and Z-Bot are up to something too. So y'all better look out and find out what's really good. So until next time, it's your boy. Let me get my little music up. It's your boy. Be good. And we'll catch you on the flip side. And we out of here. It's your boy. And I'm gone. Let's go.